Hey guys, two tournaments and the evolution of the sport, all on this episode of Co-Anglers Corner. Hey guys, welcome back to the Frugal Muse Studios for this episode of Co-Anglers Corner. I'm Russell Olson. Uh, to start off, I want to go ahead and discuss last two tournaments. I did not, unfortunately, have a chance to film an episode before the second tournament, so I will go ahead and start with the first lacrosse tournament at the end of April here. It was actually one of my best, super early April tournaments ever. Caught a good limit at 8 pounds for 3 fish. Um, Mostly caught that on a jig, black and blue jig. I had a few at the end of the day. Probably one that would have helped me on a sexy shad swim jig. Unfortunately, it came off. So that's hook sets and that. I think I might actually do an episode on that next time, because I've definitely picked up a few things, realized a few things this season already, in regards to that. But yeah, I had a good tournament that day. So it got me off to a good start to the season here. So I got 38th. Still not quite the money, but I'm definitely upper end of the field for sure. There was 104 boats. So the second lacrosse tournament was actually just last weekend, right on my birthday. Uh, I knew it'd be a lot tougher than that first tournament. Um, so I was kind of mentally prepared for that. Actually, I caught only one keeper, unfortunately. It was a good one. It was a 4 pounder, 4 pound largie, at the beginning of the day on a buzz bait of all things. But I knew that bite would not last. I did get some dinks on a drop shot. I got some bites on a jig, but I just couldn't keep them on. It's just one of those things. That's okay. I'm still on the hunt for regional. Um, so hopefully we can get some have a good day in Prairie du Chien next month. So really looking forward to that. Both the tournaments were kind of were colder days. I was a little surprised that first tournament that it went as well as it was, but they were pre-spawn. Um, Second tournament, we skipped right over the spawn. I feel like because it was water temp was in the upper 60s. It seems like we skipped well over that and went right into post spawn here. Um, so yeah, two totally different tournaments. Like I said, both were cold though. At least the first tournament got nice and warm later in the afternoon. This last tournament just stayed stayed unfortunately really cold. Um, so that's kind of summary of the first couple tournaments here. Um, so the other thing I wanted to talk about in this episode is the kind of the evolution of the sport. In particular, things involving forward-facing sonar, 360 imaging. The more advanced imaging technologies that we have out there. I was watching a video by a guy by the name of um, say how to pronounce his name, Randy Bloket. Forgive me if I uh, mispronounce your last name there, my friend. Um, did a video on the fact that the Bassmaster Classic had kind of low attendance this year. Um, he hates forward facing sonar, a live scope, all those type of technologies. He believes it's hurting the sport. Um, I will say, from a co angler's perspective, um, last couple years were not my greatest. Could that be partially because the guy's fishing forward-facing sonar? That could have played a little bit of a factor in it, kind of thinking back. But a lot of the guys are starting to use it, so that's a pretty level playing field. Not not going to use that as an excuse by any means. So my thoughts on this: the sport is going to evolve. Oh, I forgot to. I found the video that I was watching again. So I'm going to put a link to that video in my description, so you guys can see what he says, and you can tell me what you think. Obviously you make your own opinions of the situation. Getting back to things as a co-angler, yeah, it does make it a little tougher. I mean, it's tough as a co-angler anyway, but it's just something. To me, it's going to be the evolution of the sport. You got to get used to it. Figure out how to get better. Figure out how to still catch fish in those situations when you're fishing with a guy that is using that technology. The thing I think about when kind of seeing the evolution of the sport here, to me, I think of NASCAR. I compare it to NASCAR because in the I don't know how many years now NASCAR has been around. There's been a huge evolution in the sport. I feel like that's going to happen with professional bass fishing. I think people are just going to need to get used to it, get used to using that technology. I don't, I don't understand why that would have an effect on attendance, because you're not watching them fish. I mean, you might be watching some of the coverage from earlier in the day while you're waiting. I know going to or attending a handful of Bassmaster Elite Series events now, I know that's what they show, before the weigh-ins start. But I don't see that being the issue. I mean, one thing that could be an issue, and this is a huge issue to me with the sport right now, is the cost. I'm trying to get a boat. Right now I'm actually saving for a new truck first, but I've been trying to get a boat a long time, and it's difficult to get that money. And I mean, a new bass boat now, I'm probably not going to obviously get a new one for my first one unless I'm able to work out some sort of sponsorship deal or something with like one of the local marinas or something, which I will probably be trying to do, because I mean, at this point where I'm at, I should have been long fishing this as a boater. I feel like the cost of the sport is more detrimental, which can also be attributed to forward-facing sonar, because that those graphs and stuff are really expensive. But kind of getting back to the cost of a bass boat, only a handful of years now, just shortly before COVID, you could get a brand new 20-foot bass boat, with a 250 on it for about 50 grand. Now they're running brand new anywhere from 70, 80, all the way up to 100 grand for some of them. I mean, it's the price of entry on the boater side is for this sport is tough. So I mean, that's something I'm still trying to figure out. But I feel like that's more of a detriment to the sport than like forward-facing sonar is. I hate to disagree with the guy. I mean, he's definitely, has a lot of credibility. He's been fishing tournaments for a long time, and he's, won several tournaments. So I mean, no disrespect, no anything else, but I just have a difference of opinion with him on that, and that's okay. I mean, everyone's gonna have a difference of opinion. My thing is the sport is going to evolve. Like I said, I keep comparing it to NASCAR. It's I feel like it's going to take a similar path. There's going to be an evolution to it. I mean, the sport's been around. I believe BSS just celebrated their 50th year. So, but that's actually still somewhat young. I mean, look at NASCAR's been around for even longer than that. Um, Football, basketball, the ball sports, God, those you know go back much longer than professional bass fishing. So my opinion is the sport's going to evolve. We're going to have to deal with it. Whether we're co-anglers trying to fish for guys using that, or as boaters, having to pay that price to get that technology to be competitive. I know it sounds like I just heard that BASS may be going like allowing half and half next year, like half the tournaments allowing forward facing sonar, half of them not. Randy thinks it's a step in the right direction. I think it's just you're just trying to delay the evolution of the sport. That's that's my that's my opinion on it. So that's pretty much all I've got to say for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys could do me a huge favor and like and subscribe, and click that bell to notify when I get new episodes up, I'd really really appreciate it. Would also really like if you check out my Patreon. I've been meaning to get videos up there, which I will be soon. If you can check it out, just show appreciation for the channel. I really so appreciate it. So until next time, you guys. Again, I want to thank Virgo Muse Books, and good luck on the water, and go get 'em.